Salakia, Akim. Yeah, my phone, saying be getting up in here sometimes. So let me know if it's better now. Let me know if y'all can hear me better now. All right, Khan, the water. Um, but as I was saying before, I was saying that this lesson was inspired by the apostles. All right, when they had gone out, they had basically mentioned it. All right, how, of course, you're gonna have those Israelites that are all Israel at the end of the day is gonna be saved, and it's gonna come back in the kingdom. All right, but you have the first timers, all right, for lack of a better word, and then you have those that come back in the kingdom, through the reincarnation. And so the first bus, he's Apostle, he said, it's fine. You, if you miss the first bus, you can still catch the second one, but you want to be on the first bus, right? Don't. That's why I titled it "Don't Miss the First Bus," okay? Because that first bus being the elect, all right, prophets and helpers, and the whole 1/3, all right. That first bus is gonna gain priority because in the kingdom there's gonna be rank. Now, in terms of Israel as a whole, we're going to be on a whole nother level. But even within or amongst that whole nother level, you're going to have levels in that. You're going to have rank in that. Okay. And so being on that first bus, one thing that I could say now that you'll gain, all right, which, those that make it through the reincarnation are never going to be able to gain, is that experience of witnessing the downfall, all right, from Babylon, all right, and the setting up of the kingdom. Because the elect, yeah, you might have certain martyrs, but they're gonna come right back. So it's gonna be as though they didn't even, die, because they're gonna, live through. All right, it's gonna be like in your lifetime, you're gonna have the experience, all right, of living through this Babylonian captivity, all right, and seeing the downfall of this kingdom leading into the rise of the kingdom of heaven. Okay. So you want to make sure that this is, don't think of it as oh, well, I got a second chance. You don't want to, what I'm saying? You don't want to come into the kingdom that way, because once again, it's a one-time thing. You get it or you don't. So that bus, I'm metaphorically speaking, but we know what that bus is, and we know how it's going to come. So you want to make sure, look, you know how they tell you when you were a child, you set out your clothes the night before, make sure it's ironed, and you got everything set, so you're not rushing, so you're not late. Because it's that bus that you miss, you ain't catching this bus. You know what I'm saying? Now, we're gonna start off here, all right, in the book of Revelation, chapter 20. Okay, the 20th chapter, starting at the 4th verse, because in the Revelation, the 20th chapter, when you read it, it's it's tricky if you don't know, because it jumps, all right, it jumps through time. So when you read verses 1 through 3, you got to continue from 7 to 8 on down. All right, 4 through 6 is talking about something else. So, but that's the part we're gonna deal with. All right, so Revelation 20 and 4 says, "And I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua." All right, going into the martyrs, because you will have martyrs in this truth, and we don't know, all right, who's gonna be a martyr and who's not. All right, hey, we might, you don't know. So, but at the end of the day, what I will say is it's not something to fear. Okay, understand that in the time of Jacob's trouble, there's gonna be a lot of people dying. Okay, there's gonna be a lot of people dying. The only way you get out of America is through death, all right, or it's through let me just grab that real quick if that's a spot. It's through that death, all right, or them chariots, and you're gonna have a lot of death going on, all right, in the earth at the time, okay, and so if you are of the elect, you either getting out here through the chariots, all right, or you're gonna be a martyr, okay, which being a martyr for Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is not something to be afraid of, all right. Dying a shameful death, that's a different story. That's something that's, it's like, well, how'd you get? Oh, I got tortured in a concentration camp, and then I took the chip, but I ended up, burning in thermonuclear fire. That's something that's not, that's basically disgraceful. Oh, okay, so you one of those who you forsook the Lord, and you died as a consequence of doing that. Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's. I mean, ain't gonna be no hard feelings in the kingdom, but in terms of your legacy and all of that, You know, that's just how it goes. So dealing with Revelation 20 and 4, I'm gonna get back to it in a minute. I just want to see if I could take this real quick. I'm not sure. Oh, no, that's way too small. All right. But hey, see, in the kingdom, we ain't gonna have to deal with this stuff. You know, here it is, you come and you gotta look for part. Man, that's just one of my pet peeves. And man, you know, I can't wait. I'm trying to be in a chariot. You know, all this right here, this is a no-no. You know, it's a no-no, man. And that's why we cry unto the Lord, man. You know, and brothers have different things that we go through, all right, that makes you cry unto the Lord even more. All right. But hey, once we get out of here, man, the scriptures talk about how this is going to be the former things. You know, it says in Revelation 21, the former things are past. And that's also going to be a blessing of being on the first bus, because you're going to get to appreciate the kingdom that much more, because you're not just going to be born into it. Okay, you're gonna experience the change. You know, you're gonna appreciate it. It's like somebody who's been roaming in the desert for, you know, for a good minute. You know, no food, no water. You just hot, man. You just been going through it, and you finally make it out of the desert. You don't die in the desert, but you finally make it out of the desert, and you know, you make it to some, you know, some nice 5-star hotel, and they give you massages, cool AC. You getting the best meals they can offer. Water tastes good, clean. You know, women, all these different things. Your hair's getting done. Your nail, whatever you want. When you in that hotel, you're gonna appreciate it that much more. You know why? Because what you just went through was complete hell. Now, that's opposed to somebody who comes from, or who just wakes up in the hotel. You know, oh, okay, you can do this. We got this for you. We got that for you. You just go, okay, all right, cool. Because you didn't experience the desert. You didn't experience that starvation. You didn't experience the heat, you know, the fatigue, the thoughts of, am I going to die in this desert? You know, all those different things. So being alive through that transition is going to give you that experience and cause you to appreciate, all right, what you gain that much more. You see, when we go to the kingdom, you know, we're going to appreciate that much more, because we know what it's like to be in hell. You know, we know what it's like to suffer the wickedness, all right, of being under the wicked Esau's rulership, the unrighteous decrees, you know, the taxation, the constant stress that you living under. All that is going to be lifted off of us, you know, as a result of being on that first bus. I mean, Israel plain, but really dealing with the elect. All right, you got to understand, there's a reason the scriptures emphasize the elect. There's going to be, the elect hold a special place, all right, in the sight of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. And don't come with, oh, well, we all children of God. Yeah, we know that, okay? But hold up, the heathens are creations of the Most High, but they're not on the same level as us. You know, this is real life. You know, when people come with that, you know, you can't have favorites. It's human. It's nature. You know, nature has favorites. Your parents have favorites. Your mom might tell you, no, I don't have favorites. That's a damn lie. All right. Deep down, even if she wants to deny it, deep down inside her, you may be siblings. You may be 5 in a family. There's gonna be that one who just either reminds her of herself, you know, or just makes her life easy, or is very obedient, whatever the case may be. And she's gonna, it's human nature. You're gonna like one. Even it doesn't, liking one over another doesn't mean you hate the other one. It just means that preference, you know, it's just preference. Okay, so the Most High, what, we were made in His image, right? The Most High doesn't look at everybody the same. Okay, same thing with Yahushua. Yahushua loved John. John was his favorite, keyword favorite, you know, as opposed to, let's say, somebody like Thomas. Now that doesn't mean Thomas is not loved, you know, or he's not relevant, but the relationship between Yahushua and John is different than between Yahushua and Thomas, or Yahushua and Peter, because that's real life. That's how things work. You know, if you're gonna cry, oh, you're supposed to love us all equally. That's not how it works, right? So in the kingdom, it's not gonna be, you know, yeah, we're all gonna have that penny. We're all gonna be in the kingdom. But there's going to be different levels, you know? There's going to be different levels. There's going to be people who are going to get priority of certain things over others, you know? That's just the way it's going to work. You know why? Because If you want to talk about fairness, well, guess what? You're not gonna give a 2/3 the same reward you're gonna give an elect. The 2/3 weren't laboring with us. They weren't doing what we've been doing. So of course there's gonna be a difference. That's just how the Most High set it up. So you want to make sure that you get that. You know what I'm saying? You get on that first bus. Now, honestly speaking, the scriptures say all of sin have come short of the glory of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. So I'm not speaking as though we deserve it, as if we're so righteous. But hey, it's gonna be easier on your conscience when you in the kingdom drinking and chilling with Yahushai. And even though you know that it's not like, like I said, you necessarily deserve it. Like I worked for it, so it's just being given to me. It's a gift, but it's gonna be a gift you can enjoy because the gifter is happy. The gifter is telling you that, look, I gave this to you because I felt you were worthy of it. So we know what I'm saying, our conscience ain't gonna be heavy on us like a 2/3. Over time they're gonna ease out of it, but even still they're gonna have that feel of like, damn. And personally speaking, I'm not trying to be, you know what I'm saying, here we are chilling, everybody's there, we had a party, everybody's there, and in the back of my mind I'm like, damn, these are, I curse these men out. I'm trying to enjoy the drinks, and then them thoughts are coming into my mind of I'm feeling bad and shamefaced. No. I want to enjoy that joint. I want to enjoy it to the T, because we suffer way too much over here in Babylon, man. If I'm drinking wine, I want to make sure I taste every whatever molecule in that wine, and I want it to make my taste buds tingle with joy and happiness. I want to wake up on my bed singing. Nah, I don't. You know what I'm saying? So if we're gonna get the kingdom, you want to get it the right way. You want to get it, to where you can enjoy that. So whatever work we got to put in on this side, man, put that work in so you can, get on that bus. Get the bus the first time around. All right. So now let me go back to Revelation 20. I know brothers, brothers been lighting it up. All right, shalom to those watching. Because the way the camera's positioned, I might not see the comments right away, but periodically I'll check in, all right, and see some of these comments on here. All right. That's right. Yeah, that's it. Men of Valor, SC Upstate Ba, 1 Thessalonians 4:16. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trumpet of the Most High, and the dead in Hamashiach shall rise first. And that's that call, Verse 17. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds, meaning in the chariots, and meet the Lord in the air. And so shall we ever be with the Lord. See, that first bus, that's that bus, that's that first reunion. That's the marriage. Really, that's the marriage. If you're not on that first bus, you're gonna miss the marriage. That's when we actually first see Yahushai, and we got our bodies changed. You want that transition. Oh shit! Oh, damn, shit feel nice. What's this about? Damn, I got biceps. You want to feel that joy. You see Yahushai. You experience the downfall of this place. You're able to partake in the setting up of the kingdom, and it's just it's beautiful. That's that first calling. That bus, Yahushai is gonna be on it. In the second bus, you come back as a baby, you grow up, yang, whatever. You're going to be good, you're going to grow up, but now we're going to tell you. We're going to, this is what happened, it's cool, but, you want that first one. All right. 1 Thessalonians 4:18. Wherefore comfort one another with these words. See, you don't read in the scriptures and prophets are telling you, it's okay to be wicked because you're still going to come back and, you're going to be good. They tell you got to make sure you give all, Peter said it, give all diligence to make your calling and election sure. You want to make sure you're on the first bus, man. The prophets are not, the men of the Lord, they weren't telling you, hey, you know what, you could try, but if you miss it, what did Paul say? We run that we may win, not as one that beateth the air. But, you want to run the race so you can win it. I'm not looking for third place or second place. If I'm going to run a race, I'm training before the race. I got my mind ready. I'm sacrificing things so I can come in first place. Why the hell would I do all that so that I could, I'm good. I'm really looking for third place. So where do you hope to come at the end of? Well, I'm really looking third place. It doesn't look that bad, right? The first person say, I'll come in third. I like that. No, you know, and this truth is different. Remember the scriptures talk about renewing your mind. In this world, they teach you that coming short of something is okay. It's okay too. It's okay too. And you know what that does? That causes people to become lazy, and it causes people to just not even give that effort because, oh, well, second place is okay. I'll give you a trophy for second place too, and third place. Man, in Ghana, if it's a race, first place wins. That's it. It's not about, oh, well, second place, I also give you a trophy. No, 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 because then that makes people, they realize, you know what? I'm striving for first place. The next person is also like, I'm also striving for first place. So if we're neck and neck and we're running, I'm not gonna say, well, I know there's gonna be a medal for me even if I come in second place. Whatever. Let me just let him win. No, I'm like, if I want that medal, I have to win. He's like, if I want that medal, I have to win. So now we all running our hardest. So that's how you got to think of this, man. I'm not, what I'm saying? When that call, like we just read, that shout comes, you wanna, you know what I'm saying? You wanna go up into them chariots. Because if you don't go up in them chariots, you missed that first bus. And the transition from missing the first bus to getting on the second is thermonuclear fire. Pain and suffering. So, consider that part. See, people forget that. Oh, I'm gonna just come back in the kingdom. Well, how are you gonna come back in the kingdom? You forget that you're gonna suffer the second death. You forgot about that part. That's not a fun thing. Yep, this is Fisher turned Hunter, Amos 9 and 11, Revelation 2 and 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Hey, look, if you're going to die, all right, as it says, fear none of those things. If you're going to die for the Lord. Be a martyr if that's the will the Lord has for you. Because think about it. If the Lord says he wants you to be a martyr, but you say, no, I don't want to be a martyr. So maybe you're in a concentration camp and they tell you take the chip or take the guillotine. You can't just look at it as chip or guillotine. You got to think about, okay, chip means I'm down with Esau. The guillotine means I gave my life up for the Lord. If I take the chip, it ain't going to be long until I get destroyed by nuclear missiles anyway, because I'm not making it off of this land, all right, except the Lord have mercy on me. So you know what? I'm gonna just make my exit. If this is what the Lord has for me, I'll make the exit, take my head off, and then that's it. And I'm good. There's no outsmarting the Lord. There's no back door. Once the Lord gives you a decision, there's no options. You don't get okay, well, what about this? Or no. The Lord is very specific. He says this, that means this. If you don't do this, then automatically you're against the Lord. You're an enemy of the Lord. It's very simple. It's not complicated. All right. So I read a couple more and that's right. Paul Duncan, like a kid born from a celebrity, basically the celebrity went from nothing to get fame, but the offspring was born into it. Exactly. So the offspring ain't gonna really understand. They're not gonna understand and appreciate it. See, hey, especially those who your parents are older, every now and then they might sit you down and tell you how easy you have it. They'll tell you, you have it easy over, we used to have to walk this long to school. We used to have to walk barefoot. We used to have to wake up in the morning, go fetch water and do this. And I'm speaking because I'm from Ghana, right? So that's different from over here. So we have to go in the morning. You wake up at dawn, go fetch water, bring it, and then you got to do this, and then you got to get ready for school, and you eat one, and so they'll tell you like it was harder. You guys have it easier now, but you might not fully understand because you're lacking in that experience. You didn't feel that. You didn't go through that. So you might take water or electricity for granted, but they'll appreciate it much more because they'll be like, there was a time when we didn't have this, so having it now is like, we know the value of it, but you were born into it. You don't know you don't know hot because you never experienced, cold or however it goes. you know? And so now let's go back. So this is Revelation 20, verse 4. And I saw thrones. It says, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them which were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua, and for the word of the Most High, which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither received his mark. So you see the separation. There's a comma. There's a distinction between each of these things. We know who the beast is today, all right, which is the system, all right, NATO, the EU, America, all of that, right? And then it says, neither his image, going into the ways of this system, the things that are promoted here, the lifestyle, the customs, all right, the wickedness. But then it goes a step further and also mentions neither had received his mark. So why would the Apostle John make a distinction between worshiping the image of the beast and receiving the mark of the beast if they were the same thing? You see, these are different things. That's why he's separating them, right? So it says, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands, and they lived and reigned with Hamashiach 1,000 years. Okay? It says, but the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection. Now, in Revelation 20 and 5 and 20 and 6, okay, it talks about the first resurrection, but that's talking about two different resurrections. Okay? In 20 and 5, it says, but the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were finished. That dead is not talking about the 2/3. It's referring on to the other nations. Now, when it says they live not again, it doesn't mean literal living, but it just means that they're going to be in that condition, that dead state, that slavery-like condition for 1,000 years, and only until after that 1,000 years will they get to live that normal life, get their lands back, and so on and so forth. Now, I'll give you an example. We right now, when you read in the book of Ezekiel 37, it says what? We are basically dry bones, right? Now, when you go into Revelation 11 and 8, let's get it real quick. See, sometimes the scriptures speak in allegories, and you gotta, break it down. Okay, so Revelation. See, your pastor in the church. So that means nobody's ever gonna live for 1,000 years. So for 1,000 years, it's gonna be whoever's on the earth. That's you the only ones on the earth. That's it. No, none of that. You gonna pop your woman. There ain't no babies gonna come out. The woman, the midwives are gonna go in there, look for the baby's gonna say out of stock. You gotta wait till we're gonna get shipment in 1,000 years. Out of stock. You gotta keep waiting. It doesn't make sense because they don't understand what that means. All right. So going back to going to Revelation 11 and 8, it says, and their dead bodies. Okay, and their dead bodies. Now this is referring on to Israel. Okay. Now it says, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city. What is the great city? Babylon the Great. All right. It says, which spiritually is called Sodom. Why is it spiritually called Sodom? Because this place comes in the spirit of Sodom. What was Sodom and Gomorrah known for? Sodomy, all that extra unlawful sexual activity and all of that. Because it was in that, I believe it was in Sodom that those Sodomites, okay, tried to basically try to have their way with the angels when the angels came to Lot. Okay? And what do you see them doing here in America? What did what's this guy? Biden just do? He just basically reversed Trump's ban on, what was it, I think transgenders being in the military. Now they're conjuring up the same thing what Obama was doing. The ABCs, the alphabet group, they're promoting that. Okay, and that's what's promoted here. So the America, or that great city, is coming what? In the spirit of Sodom. So it's spiritually called what? Sodom. And it says what? And Egypt. Okay. Now Egypt goes into many things, because number one, what happened to the Israelites, okay, in Egypt? The same thing happened to us here. Okay, we were put in slavery. All right, we were subject onto the Pharaoh, and the modern day Pharaoh right now is Esau, Edom. Okay, we were whipped. We were put in the get. I mean, we're living that same time again. And what happened at the end? All right, of our time in Egypt, we got an exodus. The Lord delivered us out, and it's the same thing He's gonna do here in the modern day Egypt. Now, what else? You have Memphis, Tennessee. Okay, that goes back to Egypt. You have the pyramid on the dollar. That goes back to Egypt. So there's the Apis bull. All right, when you go, the bull of Wall Street goes back to the Apis bull, which was a god that the Egyptians used to worship. Okay, so America also has that spirit coming in the spirit of what? Ancient Egypt, amongst many other things. Right? So Revelation 11 and 8 says, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. Now, number one, the dead bodies is not literal. It doesn't mean that you don't see literal dead bodies just lying in the street, okay? But it's referring on to the state or the condition that our people are in. And that's why I quoted Ezekiel 37 earlier, okay? The valley of the dry bones. See, it wasn't until Ezekiel started prophesying, and then the Lord asked him, can these bones live? So he prophesied onto the wind, and those bones started coming back to life, the sinews and the flesh and the bones coming together, and then the breath entered into them, and they stood on their, as an exceeding great army. That was referring on to the elect waking up out of that dead state. All right. But there's still some of them dry bones in the valley, which are the 2/3, aka these dead bodies, because they're in a dead state of mind. Okay. So this dead here is not literal, okay, but it's the condition that our people are in. All right. So when we go back to the book of Revelation 20 and 5, and it says, but the rest of the dead live not again until 1,000 years were fulfilled, it means that these heathens are not gonna, they're gonna be in the same condition we're in hardcore slavery, in a dead state, in a low state. Now I get another precept, and that's gonna be for 1,000 years. That's gonna be the sentence of their punishment. Okay. Now after the 1,000 years, we're gonna treat them fairly. Now this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, and I'll start at verse 9, but we'll come back and revisit Isaiah 14. So it says, hell from beneath is moved up to meet thee at thy coming. And this is going into the downfall of Esau. All right. It says, yeah, that's right. Fisher turned hunter, Amos 9 and 11. Isaiah 1 and 3, the ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib, but Israel doth not know, my people doth not consider. Why? Because they're in a dead state. Right? The Lord said in Isaiah, I believe it's the same chapter going on down, that the whole head is wounded. Right? So it says, Isaiah 14 and 9, hell from beneath is moved up to meet thee at thy coming. All right. And it is not talking about a different realm where you burn forever, but it's just going into the grave. All right. Or a low state or a harsh condition. All right. So, because the parable that the Lord gave of Lazarus and the rich man, the parable represented the rich man being in a harsh state. That fire represented the harsh state, not actual burning. See, like the Lord said he would bring the third part through the fire and refine them and try them as gold is tried. We're not physically burning, but we're going through hell. We're catching hell. So we're also feeling the fire, but it's to purify us. All right. So that fire is going into what? That heat, that harsh times. Okay. So I'm gonna keep reading. Isaiah 14 and 9. Hell from beneath is moved up to meet thee at thy coming, going into Esau's downfall. It stirreth up the dead for thee. Once again, you see that word dead, but this dead is not dead people. It's talking about the heathen nations. Okay. Because what is Esau gonna do? He's gonna join them. All right, in that captivity. So it stirreth up the dead for thee. It says, even all the chief ones of the earth, going into the heathens. All right. It hath raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. Who are those? The heathens. All right. So they all gonna be put in the same condition. Esau's gonna be brought down, and he's gonna be just like them. But see, we're gonna beat on him even worse. All right. Now let's go back to Revelation 20. And like I said, we'll come back to Isaiah 14. Okay. So it says here, Revelation 20 and 5, but the rest of the dead live not again until the 1,000 years were fulfilled. This is the first resurrection. So, like I explained, these heathens are going to be put in that hardcore slavery until for 1,000 years. All right. It's going to be like how we were put in slavery, except we're going to do it the right way. All right. and they're gonna, they're gonna go through that cycle continuously for 1,000 years. And see, we're not just gonna put them in. See, when we were put in slavery, what you think? They just whooped our asses for fun? No, we worked and built up their kingdom. So when we put them in slavery, we're not just gonna put them, oh, just revenge killings and whippings. No, they're gonna build up our kingdom. That is the point of them being in that slavery. They're gonna be punished, but they're also gonna be working, meaning they're gonna be building our kingdom. Okay, so it says so the first resurrection is when, they get freed and they get their lands back, but they're still subject unto us. Verse 6, blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection. Now this first resurrection in verse 6 is not the same as in verse 5. This first resurrection in verse 6 is talking about the elect. Okay, not because it's going to tell you, on such the second death hath no power. And what is the second death? The thermonuclear fire. Okay, the missiles. Okay, the lake of fire, but also the laser beams from the chariots. That's the second death. So the first resurrection in verse 6, those that have part in that first resurrection are the elect, because they're not going to die by way of that thermonuclear fire. They're going to get delivered. As I read earlier, the brother put it up, going into that shout the Lord is going to give, and we're going to go up, get caught up in the clouds with Yahushua. But when you go to Revelation 14:9, it tells you that what? Those that are going to, those who took the chip, the judgment, how they're going to be burnt, all right, in the presence of the Lamb and the angels. That's the second death. The first death was with water during the time of Noah, but the second is going to be with fire. So it says, so there's a clear distinction right there. It says, on such the second death have no power, but they shall be priests of the Most High and of Hamashiach, and shall reign with them 1,000 years. Now, it doesn't mean that after 1,000 years our reign is over. No, because when I first came into the truth, prior to getting the breakdown and understanding, when I read that, I got a little salty. 1,000 years, what? That's it? We're gonna reign with the Lord 1,000 years, and that's it? What you mean? So what happens? Do we die? What's going on? Once again, that was like when I first heard the truth, So I'm like, I was hurt. I was upset. What you mean 1,000 years? That's it? Nah, I want more. So I was already planning how I'm gonna pitch my case to the Lord as to why we should get more than 1,000 years. But that's just, the 1,000 years here is not talking about literally just 1,000 years. Okay, but that's gonna be that time period in which we're gonna be fixing up the earth. We're gonna be setting things in order. Okay, because everything takes time. You got to be realistic. These prophecies are in real time. All right, things don't just happen overnight. Kingdoms don't just fall overnight and get built overnight. It's a process. When Israel went down, it didn't happen overnight. We were put in captivity over a period of time. We were put in slavery. We were brought down over a period of time. It happens in a process of time. When Esau came up into power, it was also a process of time. All right. See, before the Greeks came up into power, when you go back to the time of the Persians, all right, when you had Darius, all right, the father of Xerxes, he basically he's the one who the Lord used to really stir up that patriotic spirit in the Greeks. When you look into the history, you had something called the Ionian Revolt, which is when the Greeks basically revolted against the Persians, and that led to the Persian invasion of Greece, which you had two of those. The first was by Darius, all right, Darius the Great, and then the second was by his son Xerxes, and that's where the movie 300 is based on, because it goes into the battle of Thermopylae between the Spartans and Xerxes, and the Persians. Okay, now the Persians ultimately didn't win. They didn't win that battle. They failed that invasion. But what did that do? That had united the Greeks to an extent, but it also stirred up that hatred against the Persians in them. So by the time of Philip of Macedon and Alexander III, Alexander the Great, it was easy, all right, and the Greeks already had that history of hatred for the Persians. So when you go in, and I'm going to come back to the topic, but when you go into like Daniel 8, for example, it tells you that there was a he-goat that came from the west, and it had a notable horn, all right, between its eyes, and it ran into the ram. All right, it ran into the ram that had two horns. Now, the ram was the Persians, the Medes and the Persians, all right, but at the time it was the Persian Empire, and the he-goat was the Greeks. Now it specifically says the ram ran into the he-goat ran into the ram with choler, all right, going into that bitter hatred and anger, because that spirit was stirred up. See, so it was a process of time from the time that they got taken over by Cyrus to the time of Darius stirring things up, all the way until the time of Alexander, all right, the Lord raising him up to then take down the Persians. See, so it didn't happen overnight. So going back to the point, in the kingdom, our kingdom isn't going to be set up overnight, okay? Esau's downfall is going to be quick, but we're going to have work to do. We're going to need to build things back up. See, when you read in Revelation, I believe it's 21, I believe it's the 21st chapter, it gives you the blueprints of the kingdom. It talks about the gates and the foundations of the walls with the names of the apostles, and they're going to need to build that. You know what I'm saying? You ain't going to go to sleep. All right, America gets destroyed today. I'm asleep, and then tomorrow I'm going to wake up and gold mansions everywhere and shit. I'm chilling. You know what I'm saying? The kingdom isn't just about the land and the gold. The kingdom is the age, the time period. The kingdom of heaven is going to be a time period that starts upon the downfall of Esau's kingdom, okay? Because when Yahushua comes and we take down Esau, that's going to be the beginning of the kingdom of heaven. You know, so, yeah, you know, when we think of the kingdom, it's not just mansions and this and that and this. That's going to be a part of the time we're living in, but it takes time to set that up. It takes time to you know, really put these nations and make sure they understand, no, you are Moab. Moab. All right? However you say that in Hebrew, I forgot at the moment, but you are Moab. You are Ammon. You're not Japanese, you're Ammon. You know what I'm saying? You say that, I'm gonna whoop you. You know, but it's going to take time. All right? So, going back, like it says, they reigned with him 1,000 years, going into Revelation 20:6. All right? Because that's going to be our redemption. All right, our deliverance. See, in Isaiah, I believe it's 63, the Lord says, the day of my redeemed is come. Because who is the Lord going to redeem? When you go to Deuteronomy 28 and 68, it says, and no man shall buy you or basically redeem you. All right, and that was until the time of Yahushua's return, when he's going to redeem us. He brought us back to Yahweh through his blood. So he's going to deliver us on that first bus. So don't miss the first bus. Okay, so let's go back to Isaiah 14. All right, and I'm gonna, get a couple of precepts that you brothers put up. All right, and then we can wrap it up. So this is Isaiah 14, starting at verse 1. It says, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel. And that just reminded me of Isaiah 30, verse 7. It talks about, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. You know what that he shall be saved out of it means? It means the first bus. And the he that's going to be saved are those that make it on the bus. This bus ain't, you have some generous bus drivers. You might be a little bit late. So he starts driving off, but he sees you running. So he stops and then, okay, you get on. It ain't working that way. That bus. You're going to meet the grimiest. This bus is going to have the grimiest bus driver. If you even miss it, if you even a second late, the doors are shut. You're not coming in here. We on to the kingdom. I see you there. See you there in however long. Right? So it says, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. Now, when you look into the word strangers, in here, I believe is gar, which is a foreigner, all right, an Israelite, all right, who's sojourned, because in Israel, not everybody was living in the land of Israel. You have certain Israelites that migrated, certain Israelites that moved, lived in different parts. But being that they were Israelites, they could come back to the land and they would be, all right, what tribe are you from? Da-da-da. Okay, then they'll give you a portion of land. Okay, they will give you a portion of land within that respective tribe. Okay, so when you go into the word, that gar is talking about a foreigner, but one who's an actual Israelite. And then I believe the word for a heathen is a gawar. All right, the word for stranger, which is a heathen, is gawar. If I'm not mistaken, you can check on that. All right, and that's where you get the word gawarium. All right, going into heathens. All right, so the strangers here are Israelites, okay? But it says, and the people shall, because we ain't gonna have no dusty ass crust lip, you know what I'm saying, wild ass, dry ass, ashy ass Hamite join with us. What you mean? No. All right. It says verse 2, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. So we are gonna possess who? It's gonna tell you in a minute. Verse and they shall take them captives whose captives they were. So those that we're gonna possess in the land and have them as handmaids and servants are gonna be those that were our captors, aka the heathens. Because we've been under captivity under the Egyptians, the Assyrians, the Babylonians, the Medo-Persians, the Medes, the Persians, okay, the Greeks, the Romans, basically everybody, you know. So guess what? They're gonna serve us. All right. It says there's a precept that says kings shall be thy nursing mothers or nursing fathers, something along those lines. All right. So it says here. All right, it says, and they shall take them captives whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. And that's what we're going to do in the kingdom. All right. And it shall come to pass in the day. Yep, that's right. Virgin Islands, Straight Gate, Isaiah 47:5. Sit thou in the, sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. So what happens when this space comes and sits in the dust? It's like a seesaw. All right. Jacob and Esau are like a seesaw. When Jacob is down, Esau is up. But when Esau goes down, that's it. No more. We getting off that's how it's gonna stay. Jacob ain't gonna come back down and Esau. No. The second Esau's, he's up right now, but really we're coming up and Esau's going down like on a seesaw. So when he goes down and we go up, that's it. All right, call it right there. Yeah, no more, no rounds, nothing. That's it. That's how it's gonna stay. All right. So it says, verse 3, and it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. And this is all, we're finally gonna rest. Like Paul said, for here we have no continuing city, but we seek one to come. You know, we're going to get actual rest where you go to sleep and you're not worried about, oh, I got to do this tomorrow. Oh, I forgot to do this. Oh, I got to call this person. Oh, I got to go to work. Oh, I got to go to class. All this extra stuff. It's not rest. You're never really at rest because we're constantly thinking of something we have to do or we haven't done, or bills that we got to pay, or, you know, this, and it's always something. For you to go maybe a month and not have anything on your mind, I got to do this or get vexed, impossible. It's not going to happen. If you're in the right spirit, it's not going to happen. See? So that's why this means so much, because we're finally going to get that rest. Like, yo, damn, you know, like, damn. So this is what it actually feels like. It says, wherein thou was made to serve, and thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. Because at one point, people would look at America and say it would never go down. It would, and that's why these demons are talking about making America great again. This place is done. And people are, an example is what happened on the Capitol. You know, whether planned or not, people looked at it and were like, whoa, time out. Oh yeah, let me go see that. People looked at it and they were like, yo, like, how is this America? Like, how did this happen in America, of all places? You know, you wouldn't expect that to happen here. Okay. You know, so how has their golden city ceased? You know, which oppressed basically the whole world. You know, how did you cease? How did you fall into a... Salakia, give me 1 second. Let me just get situated real quick. You know, and it's gonna be like a miracle to the rest of the world because people are gonna be like, yo, like, yo, what you doing, bro? People are gonna be surprised and they're gonna be shocked, you know, in terms of how this place actually went down. You know, the greatest demon that ever lived, the one who thought he could challenge God, you know, has been brought down to a lower state. People are gonna, you know, they're actually gonna question that. You know, like, how did that happen? You know, and that's why it says, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee, you know, and shall say, is this the man? You know, is this Esau, the one who made the earth to tremble? You know, that didn't shake kingdoms? Salakia. You know, people are going to be surprised. Bear with me 1 second. All right, so let me keep going real quick. Where we at? Verse 5, it says, the Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. You know, and people are gonna know that this is the work of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. They're gonna be like, yo, hold up. There's no way this dude had nuclear missiles. This dude had technology that will freaking, you know what I'm saying, annihilate you. Unmanned drones, super soldiers, hypersonic missiles. You know, if you even try to go up, it's not like in the ancient world, you know, you might go up with swords and all this. Nah, this devil got, he got surveillance. You know, he got it down pat. You know, so they're gonna be like, talking about how, you know what I'm saying, how did this man go down? But the way that this place is gonna go down, people are gonna see them. Yeah, that was definitely the work of the Lord, man. That had to be a higher power. You know, and especially how fast this place is gonna go down. The Lord, you know, the Lord's gonna leave his signature, you know, on the destruction of America. The Lord, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, is gonna actually leave his signature, okay, on the destruction of America. You know, and that's going to be a beautiful thing to see. You know? I mean, I can't even imagine that day. You know, the joy we're going to have. You know, seeing this wicked place that, man, shit, man. No more ghettos. No more McDonald's. No fast food. You know what I'm saying? No Karens pulling up. No social media videos showing whores and OnlyFans and all this extra, man. None of that, man. All right? You know, man, we're gonna actually get to live, you know, real life. All right. So let me finish this up real quick. All right. It says, verse 7. Oh, actually, verse 6. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindereth. Because look, man, everybody hates Esau. Nobody's gonna want to stop the destruction of Esau. When people see the downfall of this place, it tells you in Revelation, yeah, the merchants are going to mourn, but that's because they're going to lose money. But everybody else is going to be like, it's about time. Shit. You know, eventually they're going to come to the realization like, yo, yes, F this place, man. No, none hindereth. Nobody's going to say, oh, let's stop them. Nah. All right. Verse 7, the whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Everybody's going to be joyful, man. They're finally going to be like, oh, yes, you're like, peace. You know? People are going to, people are going to, if, you know, these heathens, all right, they're going to, even under hardcore slavery under us, is going to be better than living a regular life under Esau. You know? It says, yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no fellers come up against us. And a feller is somebody that cuts down trees, you know, like a lumberjack, you know, or, you know, wherever that case may be. And that's what Esau does, deforestation and all these, we got to build and put these buildings here and do this, that, and the third. That's what Esau does. All right, but as it says here, no fellers come up against us. You know, the trees are going to rejoice, man. I'm looking at some trees right now, and they're dead. These trees never, I mean, they're dead. You know, you see those trees that have that you know, the the roots, you can see the soil is dry. You know, the tree is dead. It's literally dead. Some of these trees never bear fruit. And you wonder, what kind of tree is this? Is it, no fruit, nothing. It's just there. You know, it's it's even sad to watch. But the scriptures talk about the earnest expectation of the creature. You know, they're waiting for the manifestation of the sons of God. All right. So hey, I'm gonna end it off there. The water for tuning in. Lord willing, you were edified. All right. This is something we got to look forward to, man. So like I said, don't miss the first bus. All right. Don't miss the first bus, man. And how do you do that? 2 Peter 1:10. Give all diligence to make your calling and election sure. Okay. That's how you ensure that you don't miss the first bus. Okay. So with that, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakha Kodash. Until next time, Shalom.